protests have been taking place on the ground. Let's go across to Aishwarya Kapoor. Aishwarya, right now it seems that the government has addressed concerns that were raised, but despite that, we are continuing to see protests.
Well, that's right. And these are protests which are happening not only in one particular sector or in one particular state, from Bihar to Palwal to UP to Telangana to Maharashtra to Madhya Pradesh. So this is basically government needs to act and needs to act fast. Yes, as you correctly mentioned last night, the age has been increased from 24 to 23, but it doesn't seem to be satisfying the demands of the youth which have been preparing for the armed forces for the last 3 to 4 years. And if apart from that, because there are a lot of rumors as well which has been spread regarding this scheme of the government, that has there been any constitutional change in the recruitment of the Indian Army, to which the government has categorically denied. So in that case, the government needs to come out and then explain to the youth, because these are the youngsters who are preparing for the armed forces for the last 3 to 4 years, and they have made to be understood that the scheme will adversely impact, while the government says no. Government says on the contrary, this is going to benefit because this is going to increase the recruitment. So if that's the case, then who is spreading these rumors and why? So all of these concerns need to be met. All of their questions need to be answered. But on the contrary, the protesters also need to understand they can protest. They have every right according to the constitution, but at the end of the day, you cannot go violent. Violence is not the answer. If you have your concerns, if you have your questions, all of that shall and should be answered, but you cannot go for arson, you cannot go for stone pelting, and this is something which the government is trying to explain.
Now, Aishwarya, one of the concerns, of course, and the anger that we see was fueled by the 2-year freeze on army recruitment due to the pandemic. But that is something that the Agnipath scheme, which begins recruitment about 90 days' time, is now addressing. And that age limit has also been increased to 23. Do you perhaps think that better information from the government side will help matters? Aishwarya, are you there with us? Well, I don't think we've got Aishwarya Kapoor with us right now. We're going to try and get him back. But pictures on your screens are of the vandalism that we are seeing across the country. There are reports of arson as well as attacks and violence that are coming in from various parts of the country. Now, the Defence Ministry has responded to these. We've had the Defence Minister come out and say that there will be a one-time age limit extension to 23 years of age. Now, part of the anger that we are seeing on the streets, of course, is fueled by the 2-year freeze on army recruitment due to the pandemic. While the recruitment under the Agnipath scheme will begin in the next 90 days, several aspirants who turned overage during the last 2 years had sought a relaxation age criteria. Now, that has also been given by the government. So the government has agreed to, as a one-time measure, at least increase the age to 23. But despite that, protests are